Yeah. Welcome back to another episode of Unpopular Honesty, the home of brutal honesty and real hip hop music. Today I got the homeboy, Mr. North End Floyd. What's
What it
going
do,
on with you,
man?
brother?
Man, what's up, man? What's good with you, dog?
Chilling, man. There's so much going on in the world. Where do I start? Where would you like to? I'm gonna let you start it off. Where would you like to start it off, sir?
I don't know because to be honest with you, I made a post, which I was really joking. I made a post yesterday.
And I figured that. I figured that that was a joke. You know
I
what?
was,
Because I thought about it. I said, you know what? Knowing him, that was probably a joke that a lot of people took serious. And you know what?
yeah,
That comment section was very, very telling.
yeah.
It was
No
very
doubt,
telling.
no doubt,
It,
no
it,
doubt.
it explained a whole lot about a whole lot of people. But
hmm
we're not gonna give that a conversation. I'm gonna just point that out because I pay attention to the things that most people probably don't pay attention to at all.
Yeah,
But
I'm not. My bad on cutting you off, but social media, you can easily manipulate. You could easily kind of stir up the nest if you know how to work social media properly. You could do it as a good thing, or you can do it as a bad thing to stir up the content and stuff like that. So I've seen, Sexy Red. She's been getting a lot of publicity on her songs and stuff, and she's using like the little old school ATL dances that they used. You know what I'm saying, to you know bring back the little dancing and stuff like that. So I say, me being who I am, I say let me post this. Let me get my timeline. Let me get my page jumping and stuff like that. And
but for the record, while you riding in your car, you don't
I
listen to
I would never listen to that in my car, dog. I would
that.
never listen to that in my car, man. I'm
Ooh.
not trying to be a sexist dog, but it ain't too many females rappers now that's getting played in my car, dog. I can't. I'm not finna play no Lotto. I'm not finna play no Megan Thee Stallion. I'm not finna play no Sexy Red. I'm not finna play none of these females that be talking about how good they coochie is in my car, dog. You know what I'm saying? And most of these, well, 99% of these mumble rappers, these rappers now that come out, and most of them come out and they got the same flow. They're not getting no play, dog. I can't. I can't help the system out. You know what I'm saying? I can't help out the matrix. It's already doing its thing. I'm not finna try to help it out even more. You know what I'm saying? Giving them spins like that.
You know what your post helped me realize? You don't have to ask what's going on, what's wrong with the world.
Mm-mm.
Look at what they entertain.
Yep.
Look at what they find as entertainment.
You know what? And they make these people millionaires, dog.
Yeah, and they don't have a problem with it, and they go along with it, and it's something else that happened within the last week, and we finna talk about that too because, and believe me, I'm not political at all. Let me
Yeah, neither
start
am I.
there. I'm not political. You will never find me talking about politics,
Mm-hmm.
but I know enough to know when someone is built for politics and when they are not.
Mm. Explain on
The
that.
the current president is making an attempt to secure black votes.
Okay.
So how do they do that? They invite Glorilla to the White House.
I seen her at the White House.
But now you
Yes.
say but I'm saying to myself, what is this supposed to do? Like she's supposed to be the representative for the black vote. Let's be honest. The people that listen to Glorilla
They
can't
not
fucking spell vote,
they not gonna
let
go vote.
alone go register to vote.
They not going to vote. The people that listen
Ex-
to her music not going to vote, dog.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is the whole uh let me get black votes. How do we get black votes? Oh, you invite the famous rapper to the White House. It could be anybody. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? As if they are the representation of the black vote.
Mm.
And they are not. because there's nothing political about none of these rappers today.
You know what? You can have Glorilla at a voting poll, and she'd be like, "Hey, fans, I'm over here at such and such. Y'all come over here and vote."
Did you
They go.
see her? Did you see her interview on CNN?
I didn't see none of that. But what I was saying is, even if she was at the
They
voting
asked
polls,
her about her political stance,
what she said?
and she moonwalked out of the question smoother than Michael Jackson.
What she
She
say?
said they asked her about her political stance and something like that, or if she's voting or something to that degree. And she say, "Oh, I'm not worried about that. I'm just living my life like it's golden."
That's what she said.
That's what she said. And that's my point. Like that, my whole point of them inviting her to the White House, thinking she represents the vote for black people,
Yeah,
and then black people being so fucking uh
gullible.
distracted that they can't see how people are pulling wolves over your eyes
Mhm. I
because
mean,
we being played with, and we acting like we can't understand that, or maybe we too distracted to understand that we are being played with. But all
you
of this feeds into the conversation that we're having.
man, you know, some people are okay with being puppets, long as it's them. Some people is okay being a puppet, long as it's them. So she okay being a puppet because she's like, oh, I get to meet the president. Y'all don't get to meet the president. I get to go to the White House. Y'all don't get to go to the White House, even though she might even know that they using her to get the vote. She's not important in the long run. She's just a tool. And it's a shame because some black people is okay being used and being a puppet long as it's them. You know what I'm saying? And it's fucked up. You know, that just like you got some rappers. You got some rappers out there and they be like, look, we got and they could tell you, they could be like, look, we pushing the agenda. We want you to rap about guns, drugs, killing, and such. We gonna give you this money. You know what I'm saying? Long as you keep rapping about that, you gonna be good. We gonna take care of you. And a lot of these rappers, they gonna be like, all right, fuck it. I'm good with it. Long as it ain't my people, you know what I'm saying? They don't care. They cool with destroying their community, dog. Long as they getting a piece of that little small percentage of the pie, they don't care being used, dog. A lot of people don't how they people be talking about standing on business. A lot of people don't stand on business, dog. They
Yeah,
like to be used.
that's 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 not I don't appreciate that part of the game, man. How how they use us and how we allow ourselves to be used as black people.
Yep.
That's what I am gonna say about that. But I'm not gonna stay there because that's political and that's not my arena of conversation.
Mm.
So I'm gonna move on to King Kendrick,
Yeah.
aka Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, for
he
sure.
just really shook up the world.
He
I
really
said,
did, and I think he knew that.
yeah, he shook up the world. I'm gonna say this. I listened to it twice. Maybe his delivery on there is why I've seen some people say this ain't it, or
Mm.
but now take that aside because that's the only gripe I have with it.
Hmm.
The part that's a little confusing to me is um they say he's supposed to be dissing J. Cole.
I didn't really see. I didn't really
And
hear a J. Cole
I didn't
diss
really
him.
hear Jay. I only heard them teaming up. And
That's
he
the only part.
say first person shooter. That's
Yes,
the song that
that's the
they
song.
did together.
And a three big.
Well, he said three big because
You know, people say the
for the
J.
past
Cole.
for the past decade, people have been saying that they have been the best
Yes,
artists out of
Drake
this
J. Will.
generation.
Yeah.
Do you realize how sad that is for hip hop? Because there was a time when in the 90s, let's take 95 through 99, for instance.
Hmm.
You had UGK, Ghetto Boys, 8 Ball and MJG, Compton's Most Wanted, DJ Quick, Death Row, Bad Boy,
Wu
Wu
Tang.
Tang, all these people, and all of them had success. Bone Thugs and Harmony, all of them had success all at the same
At the same
time.
time. You had Eric Sermon, them, Red Man. I forgot what was their group. Keith Murray, them.
Yeah, they had Death Squad, and then
Death
Red
Squad.
Man
Yep.
and Method Man
Method
made the
Man.
little duo, and then
Yeah.
you had X, and you had Big Pun, and you had
Yep.
Jay, and you
Yep.
had all these people were successful. And
Mhm.
now, for the last decade plus, when people talk about the best of the best, they all mention Kendrick, Cole, and I feel like the only reason why this other person is mentioned is because of his numbers.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
let's be totally honest and strip it all away here. That's the only reason why that guy is mentioned, based off his numbers.
Yeah.
None of us can name a classic Drake anything because he doesn't have it.
Mm.
He
But
makes music for the people he makes music for. His music sector is R&B pop music.
mm-hmm.
He's not a rapper.
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what his music is made for. Those people that like it, cool. That's who we make it for. That's who's supposed to like and appreciate it. Now, when he's added to a hip hop conversation, he's added to a Mount Rushmore, any kind of inclusion into hip hop culture. I have an issue with that because you're not a rapper. You know
but
what I'm
let me
saying?
tell you something, Brad. Who, why you let me say this why I'm a little bit angry at Kendrick Lamar. Because he's such a great lyricist. Why the hell are you putting out albums every 5 years? You putting out albums every
Album.
5 years, dog? Like, come on,
Well,
man.
the success also has to play a part too because I
Not
don't know.
every
I'm just
five
I'm
years.
just assuming. I'm just assuming because who could have guessed that in 2012 he would release an album that set the world on its ear and overshadowed everything that came out before it and after it. Nobody could predict. I didn't even see it. As much as a fan of West Coast rap I am,
Yep.
and I had heard him on the Game albums prior,
Yep.
so I saw him coming up. I just didn't see that level of success until it happened. And
Yeah,
then once
I
he
seen him with
blew,
Black Hippie and all that.
yeah, and then when he blew, I was like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? And then when that second album came out, I was like, ooh, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then it's like every time he puts something out, it just, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that also plays a part in how much the artist is gonna be consistent enough. Like when their next album come out, because his first album came out in 12, his second one came out in 15, his
hmm
third one came out in 17, his last one came out in 23
3. Yeah, like 6 years.
because it was like 5 or 6 years in between. That's based off the success. Most people that have that type of success, they don't have to come out.
He don't have
You
to
know what I
come out.
mean?
He don't have to come out like, every 1 or 2 years, but 6 years is a long time. And for 6 years, that's why we have this mediocre rap and stuff like that.
I agree.
We need artists like Kendrick Lamar, maybe Big Crit, other rappers like that, lyrical. We need the content because now you're leaving people that really love hip hop and love the lyrics. Now we got to go venture off. We got to go listen to some Afro beats or R&B music or something like that because the hip hop music is so trash on the radio for sure that we ain't left to nothing. We left listening to old music. That's all we gotta look forward to. We can't look forward to every Friday some new music dropping because the artists that you see, especially on Apple Music, because I have Apple Music, so I'm speaking for myself. The, when I look on Friday, I can't wait to see who dropping on Friday. And I'm like, who is this artist? Who is that artist? I listen, I'm like, oh my god, like how is he? How is they getting on Apple Music when you scroll new music dropping? They the first second people that you come across.
Now, when we last left off, you was talking about K Dot.
Yeah, man. As far
You
as
said you was mad at him or something.
yeah, I was mad at K Dot because 6 years, man. Come on, dog. You gonna leave us like that for 6 years? Now we gotta listen to this trash and we gotta listen to other fans give reasons why uh J. Cole and Drake are up there with Kendrick Lamar is because the now they're putting out more music. You know what I'm saying? Now they're putting out more music, and so now they're accumulating more fans. Because Kendrick Lamar, 6 years, dog. You know what I'm saying? We got 6 years. Then he put out the album a few years ago, and be honest with you, the album that he did put out last year, I don't think it was up to the last two albums he put out. Even though I was excited, and I'm still excited that he put that music out because we needed that. But now we need more music, man. Because now you got these Drake fans, you got these J. Cole fans, you got these 21 Savage fans, you got these Sexy Red fans, you got all these other fans out here. Is
Do you
talking
listen
about
to 21 Savage?
no, I don't listen to 21 Savage, but I seen Drake and 21 did an album together, so I just grouped them together. And to be honest with you, I think that's why Future put Kendrick Lamar on that album, because I heard Future had a problem with Drake doing a joint album with 21 Savage and not him. That's just what I heard.
Okay,
That's
okay.
just that's
I've
just what
heard
I
that. I've
heard.
heard that too. I don't know
I
if
don't
it's
know
true
how
or not.
I don't know how and Metro, Metro and Drake, they had a little beef going on. You know what I'm saying?
I heard a little bit about that too, but
They were shooting shots at each other, Instagram and via whatever, blah blah blah.
because I really don't care about any of the names involved, it's
Yeah.
really not a big issue to me. But now I'm gonna say this: um, it's funny what people choose to entertain.
Mm-hmm.
I keep saying this, and I'm gonna keep saying it. What you listen to is very important
Mm-hmm.
because it's not far from who you are and what you believe.
Mm-hmm.
If you're, I, since rap has been around 50 years now, I feel like it has tiers, it has levels.
Mm.
There's a tier of music that is set for children and teenagers. Then there's a tier that is set for 18 through about 28, 29.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a sector that's set for 30 to 40. Once you get beyond 40, and I say this because there's people who are above 40 with teenage playlists.
Yes. Oh, I know. Oh, I got a
And it's
homie.
and it's
It's
and
like
it's the craziest shit in the world of me because you know what real music is.
mm-hmm.
You was raised on real music.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the thing that nobody wants to speak on.
Mm.
Black people don't want to fucking grow old. They don't want to act their age.
Man, let me
They
tell
want to be young as possible.
let me tell you something, Brad. I was just thinking about this. Black people is the only ones who raw each other when we get old. Like we can't get old.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
I seen a chick, she almost 40, and she was talking about guys that are old. I'm like, we can't get old. We can't, at a certain age, hey man, some people going bald, some people might lose their teeth, You know what I'm saying? Some people's skin might wrinkle up, but that's what happens when you get old. But black people, we raw each other because we're getting old. Like, if I'm in my 40s and 50s, hey, my knee's supposed to. Why you gonna raw me because my knee hurting? Why you gonna talk about me because my back hurting? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're the only culture that talks about each other because the person is getting old. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's ridiculous to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
I
so
believe we're the only culture that uses music and entertainment
we do,
to maintain youth,
we do.
which is why you have so many people 40 plus riding around listening to fucking 21 Savage and NBA Youngboy.
I got a homie. He be sending me music. He lived out in Dallas for a good 20 years, but he back out here, and he send me music of these artists, these young guys that are so trash. And every time he send me something, I listen to it. I say, "Dog, that's trash." And he be like, "Oh, you a hater? How am I a hater?" Because my opinion is that he's trash. He is a young. I don't know. They might be in their 20s. They might be in their teens. I can't
Welcome,
relate.
welcome to the club. They've been saying that about me for the last 20 years.
They've been saying that. Yeah, they have. They have. We done. We
And
done. We
and
done
and
music shows together. We done
and
all
guess what? Guess what? My thoughts and my views and opinions remain the same
Let me tell you this.
because
Let me tell you this, Brad. A lot of people when we was doing that music show. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. A lot of when we was doing that music show, I had a few people hit me and they was like, "Man, why you got Bread on the show? All he do is hate." I say, "Nah." I say, "Homie, just speak his opinion. He just speak his opinion. He ain't hating on nobody. He just speak his opinion, and what he like is what he like. He is a true hip hop artist, and he believes in lyrics. And if you not up to that standards, that's just what he is. We not finna sugarcoat every artist that come up here and they be trash and be like, oh, we loving it because there's no authenticity into that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, you know what I'm saying? Look, if you don't like it, then oh
I'm not
well.
so I'm not surprised, man, because where we live is very much go along and get along.
Exactly. That's how it is, dog. You can't have your
It's
own
it's
opinion because they go
it's
think you
like
hating.
that. It's like that with the job structure,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like that in social circles.
Yeah.
It is. It's very much go along and get along, and people know this. People know this. They just don't want to say it for whatever reason, but it is very much go along, get along. If I say something that goes against what everybody is jamming and listening to right now, of
Mm-hmm.
course I'm going to be public enemy number one. Do
Mm-hmm.
I care about being public enemy number one? No, I don't. I care more about being the one person that says, you know what? This is trash.
It's trash, dog.
And this is another thing that I wanted to talk to you about because based off of your post and the reason why, well, I'm not going to get into why your post was very telling. But let's just say I scrolled down the comments and I read every comment. And it was very telling. And it speaks to a lot of what goes on out here. You gotta think a, a woman that listens to Sexy Red and thinks that that's real music, something has to be wrong with her brain.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's no. And then this is another thing because that's one thing, but this is it too. Her content is her content, and everybody knows what she talks about.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way you can explain to me, oh, she has talent. Oh, the value and the power in her words are so captivating, which is why I listen. No,
It ain't no talent in that,
it
dog.
ain't no talent in that. And if you can relate to her content,
Yeah.
it's only one of two reasons. You're either a hoe or you a hoe in training.
Mm-hmm.
One of the two.
You
Because
got
she
yeah.
don't talk about nothing else.
If you listen to the lyrics on that song that I post, she she raps, "I'm his favorite hoe." That's one of her lyrics in there. She like, "I'm his favorite hoe." And sometimes I can't think of what they call it, but sometimes it's like it's a hidden message in some of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And you don't really pick up on it or whatever, but it's a hidden message in some of that. And to be honest with you, music, movies, all that, it's really like a war on like the black community, dog. You know what I'm saying? From the music to the movies, the mindset, dog. It's a mental warfare that they have on our people, and our people really don't care. Because if you tell them something like that, they're gonna be like, "Man, you tripping, dog." They're gonna be like, "Man, whatever, blah blah blah. You just hating," and they don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like the mental warfare, dog. That shit is like it's crazy. And
That's
I
what I'm trying to tell her because that's, I mean, what we were talking about was like if a woman finds that entertaining, what does that say about her mentally?
to
What
be
does
honest
that
with,
say about what she chooses to entertain?
I don't think no wives entertain that, dog. I'm married. My wife don't listen to that. She don't listen to
Eh,
that. When I get in her car, she has. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I get in her car, she has like the little jazz little channel on there. You know what I'm saying? She got
yeah.
like the little R&B little thing on there and stuff like that. It ain't no our local music, our local channel or whatever, radio channel, radio station. It ain't none of that. You know what I'm saying? So it makes me think that if somebody is married, unless you marry the wrong chick, the wrong female, unless you married a hoe, because that does happen. You know what I'm saying? But to be honest with you,
Believe it
ain't,
or not,
ain't no
it's a
wives
lot
listen.
of
Ain't no
it's a
wives
lot
listen
of
to that.
women. It's a lot of women that's listening to this music. I'm not gonna say all of them are wives. Hell, most of them are single, and that's another telling point too.
Most of them are single and they single baby mamas.
Most of them are single, and I can clearly see why if this is your choice in entertainment, because
They're single baby mothers.
any
She
man,
her song even says F her baby daddy.
any man who chooses to ignore the red flags,
That's a lot of them.
there's a lot of them, and they choose to be suckers by default. Some of them
By
by
default.
default, some
They
of them by
can't help it.
choice.
They can't help it.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? But most men who have discernment,
Hmm.
who can see around the corner and ahead,
Hmm.
they're not going to entertain that. They're not going to deal with that. And that's the reality that's about to hit them
Hmm.
because it's something about the tables. They always turn. And but that's something we'll have to talk about after the tables turn, and then we revisit this conversation and we say, wait a minute, we was talking about that before it happened. You
I
know what I'm
mean,
saying? So, because people already now are starting to look the other way. I don't know if you're realizing it or not. I
yeah,
mean, it's only but for so long, music, rap in particular, changes every year to a year and a half, maybe two. And they beat this ratchet thought culture thing into the ground.
hmm.
They beat it into the ground.
I seen
They
Joe
beat
Budden's talking about that.
so much, it's oversaturated. Now it's not something we look at as a prize because everybody's doing it. So now it's gonna take somebody who to come who's not on that and blow up to get everybody's attention off of the degradation that's been happening for the last couple of years.
But let me tell you how smart they is, Brett. So somebody like you, they see that. Somebody like you that's up in the ranks, up like that, they see that. They see like, oh man, this rap about how good your coochie is and tricking dudes off, this getting saturated. Let me bring in somebody that spits lyrics. Let me try to make the next Lauren Hill popular because now it's so saturated with this hoochie rap. Now we need somebody that can go against this. Let me build up a Kendrick Lamar, but on the female side. Let me build up, a Ice Cube on the female side because it's so saturated with this. this hoochie rap, that if I get me a female that's spitting lyrics and I can market her right into like some Lauryn Hill type thing, that she the next thing smoking. She the next thing smoking, because they don't have that right now. Well,
No, they don't.
they do have I forgot her name. A lot of these other female artists that's
Rhapsody.
underground, Rhapsody and stuff like that, that's been out for a long time. But let me get a younger female that's into herself, that's what I'm saying, that's earthy, that's yoga, meditation, that's that's just a woman at heart, to combat all this ratchet rap. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have that right now to market. So
I
if
know what
you
you're talking about. You talking like a rap version of her.
yes,
Yes.
yes, and she gonna make
Yes.
millions, because now she's against the hoochie rap. You know what I'm saying? And now you got females that be like, yes, I'm tired of that sexy red, such and such. You know what I'm saying?
But
She's
you know what?
it.
This sounds amazing. This sounds like a hip hop dream, basically. But this is the reality. I'm finna bring us back to reality. The reality is the powers that be, the people that push the buttons, the
Yeah.
people that make the sexy reds and the glorrillas popular, they don't want somebody positive pushed to the forefront, and then that sway the masses to think positive, do positive,
That's
be
gonna alienate.
positive.
That's gonna hurt their money.
Oh, that's gonna hurt their money all the way. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
I
Like
see
their
what.
their plan has been going
Mm,
very good.
I
It's
see what
been
you're
going
saying.
according to how
It's
they set it up. You know what I mean? So
I'm gonna compare it to. I might go left field with this, but I'm compared to the gasoline mobile and all these other people, that your cars run off of gas. Now, it's been conspiracy that they had people that actually get your car to run off of water or off of cornstarch or whatever the hell it may be, and these people miraculously end up getting killed because they're
mm,
going against a higher power. You know what I'm saying? These companies, they making all these billions off of gas, and now you come and you got a car running off of water. The world is like 80% water, and now you got a car running out. Oh, we got to take you out. You know what I'm saying? You can't hurt our pockets. Now you hurting our pockets. So now I see what you're saying. You comparing that to now you got all this hoochie rap making all this money, commercializing, radio play, and now you trying to bring up the next Lauryn Hill? Nah, we gonna have to take you out.
yeah,
We either gonna have to take you out, or we're gonna have to take her out. But one of y'all finna get taken out, because now you hurting our pockets. You going against the machine. And when you go against the machine, just like Pac, he used to always talk about it. Pac used to
yeah.
always talk about it. And Pac used to talk about when he died, you know what I'm saying? Years from now, his music is gonna just is gonna influence the next person, you know what I'm saying, to take over and stuff like that. And that's
That's
just how
something
it
I
is.
wanted to ask you about too, because he's been gone for almost 29 years now.
Mm.
Actually, today is the 30th anniversary of Above the
Mm.
Rim, the soundtrack, and tomorrow makes
I
30
have seen
years that the movie Above the Rim, 30 years. Last month we celebrated the anniversary of All Eyes on Me and Strictly for My Niggas, two of his albums that were released in
it. Mm.
February. And it was also announced that All Eyes on Me surpassed every other artist on Spotify with the most streams. What I wanted to ask you was, because it seems like this story is never ending.
Mm.
It just keeps continuing and continuing and continuing. But the continuance of Tupac, even the young generation, I've witnessed it, even the young generation have realized and recognized how important Tupac is. I just wanted to ask you, what do you think about that?
Well, I'm just gonna say, I remember when Tupac died. I remember where I was. I remember where I was going. I remember the moment I heard it on the radio. I remember when Tupac died. I cried. I ain't gonna lie.
I cried
I,
too.
I was going to a football game with my parents, and I had my girlfriend with me. And they said on the radio, we're here to announce that Tupac died. I was hurt. I was hurt. And because Tupac, he was one of the first act rappers that was talking. He was doing movies. He was covering every type of music, dog. Brenda Had a Baby, Dear Mama, uh uh all kind of songs on there, dog. You know what I'm saying? California Love, man. I can name so many songs that Pac had. He wasn't just rapping about one particular thing, dog. And he was doing movies. And to be honest with you, where Pac died at, what, 26?
25.
25, dog. And for him to accomplish so much at 25, dog, you got rappers I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think Jay Z, or Nas has accomplished more than Tupac. Now, money wise, yes, they got money. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, they still alive and shit like that. But as far as career wise, music
Impact,
wise, impact
impact and
wise,
influence? Nah, they haven't.
I know
Matter of fact,
Jay Z is doing all this stuff, Super Bowl
they
stuff.
try to compare people to today of Tupac, and
Mm-mm,
they're not.
they're not, dog.
You know what I'm saying? Like they call a certain rapper this generation, they say, oh, he's the Tupac of this generation. No, he's not.
They always do that. Just like with basketball, the next star come up, they be like, "Oh, he's the next Michael Jordan." He's not.
He's
He-
not.
he's not. I mean, it sounds good.
It
It
sounds
sounds
good.
it sounds like clickbait. He's the next Jordan. He's the next Tupac, but he's not. He's gonna crumble under that pressure. He didn't grow up under the same circumstances. If you didn't grow up under the same circumstances as a person, then you can't really emulate that person. His mama was a Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? What he went through, you can't emulate that. You know what I'm saying? Unless your parents was a Black Panther and your dad wasn't there and all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Growing up in Oakland, you know what I'm saying, and all that type of stuff. You can't really
There's something that
you can't emulate that, man.
I agree with that 110%. There's something that happened a little while ago.
Mm, okay.
I'm not going to say the guy's name, but
Mm,
somebody in the industry got a lawsuit brought against him.
mm,
And it was a 75-page lawsuit.
mm-hmm.
And within this lawsuit, several other artists and producers were named.
Producers.
Producers and artists were named. Because I
Okay.
read most of it. I didn't read it all, but I read most of it.
Most of the 75 pages.
Most of the 75 pages.
Okay. Okay.
Now, one artist in particular was named. And when they named him, the response from people had me laughing because it was like, come on, man. Like, all right, man. Like,
Mhm,
I know people be gung ho about their favorite rappers because even I am.
mhm, mhm.
But we have to be conscious in reality. And we cannot be on one end saying, oh, this is bad, this is messed up. But then on the other end, we riding with and we condoning somebody who might be allegedly involved in certain activities.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that's the way I'm a word that.
I
You
think
know what I'm
I
saying?
think I know who you're talking about because I've been an advocate for this person's music.
Yeah.
I've been on the fence. I've been on the not the fence, but I've been on the forefront of saying how I like this particular artist. And
Right.
let me say and let me say one thing. When I seen it and when I heard it, I was like, damn, they finna clown the homie on the internet. But they had a same artist that was named, and I'm gonna name the artist. They had Usher. He was
Right.
named.
Right.
You know how Usher handled it? He didn't speak one thing about it. He didn't
He
go on
act
that.
like it. He act like it didn't happen.
He act like it did not happen. He even went to Bali or whatever it is with not Russell Simmons, but what's his brother? The other Simmons or whatever. Not Russell, but what's his brother with Def Jam on Jeff Jam?
Russell Simmons.
That's Russell Simmons.
Yeah, Russell
Okay,
Simmons.
yo. Okay, he even went to Russell Simmons on some yoga retreat and posted a picture of him and Russell Simmons, you know what I'm saying? No shirt on, in some kind of steamy meditation type room and stuff like that.
Right.
He, he don't care about that. He don't care about what you say or you know what I'm saying, the Twitter
Well, that's
world and
because
all
his
that.
PR people told him, "Don't even worry about that."
Don't worry
You
about
know
it.
what I'm saying? And he not gonna say nothing.
He
He don't.
don't worry about it because if you don't speak on it, if you don't even think about it, you know what? Something's gonna happen 3 weeks from now, and you're gonna be irrelevant. Whatever they talking about is gonna be irrelevant because some rapper, some musician is gonna do something stupid, and then it's their turn now. You know what I'm saying? But you know, the artist that I supported, he all on Twitter. He made 100 posts he talking about how he ain't this and how he ain't that and how he love coochie so much. And I'm like, dog, you talking too much. Where's your PR people?
Yeah, where's
You
your
got
people that
all this
said, "Hey, get
money.
off the internet"?
You saying you got all this money. Where's your PR people at, dog? That's telling you, like, don't worry about it. Right now, yes, just take the fade. They're gonna talk about you for the next couple of weeks. You're gonna be in the, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be this and that, but then it's gonna die down and then it's gonna focus on somebody else because somebody else is gonna do something stupid, and it's gonna be on them, and you're gonna be clear. Just focus on you. Don't mention it. Don't entertain it, because if you speak on it, then now people are still gonna kind of, you know what I'm saying. But how do you feel about? Let me ask you a question. I feel very appreciative of being on your show. You know what I'm saying, and we done several shows together. We
Yeah,
we done several shows. You've been on my show several times.
right.
How do you feel about that? This mogul, this billionaire, getting taken down, dog. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like they destroying his reputation is really destroyed for now. You know what I'm saying? He did so. I'm just be honest. He's done so much for the culture, whether people say it or not. Uh, but his legacy is now tainted. To be honest with you, I don't think he can recover from it.
I've
How do
never, I never really looked at the dude as somebody to aspire to be, because you got to realize from the beginning, those things that people are saying now, they were saying back then in the '90s when he was working at Uptown. But now, let's go through the years. Of course, he comes up. His record label is blowing. He's selling records. He's making money. I would say the first thing that he did wrong was he denied reconciliation between Tupac and the Notorious Big, because what people don't know is there was people behind the scenes calling Puff and Suge to get them in a room to sit down, to squash beef, shake hands, take pictures, so this whole situation could be squashed.
okay.
Puff, and then at one point, uh, it was either Quincy Jones or it was somebody of importance. They got Suge to show up, and they was like, "Okay, Suge is here, and he with Dre. Where's such and such with such and such?"
Hmm.
And he was supposed to show up, and he never did. And then
Is this
uh,
before Big died?
this is before anybody died.
Okay.
They was trying to squash the situation.
Hmm.
By all accounts, he was the one that didn't show up. Then, of course, both of those guys lose their life. In
Hmm.
particular, with Big, when Big lost his life, that man left. Matter of fact, he left the hospital in the trunk of a car because he was scared, and they drove him to San Diego to get on a plane to go back to New York before that man mama arrived in Los Angeles. I
You
don't care. This ain't got nothing to do with music. If that's your friend and my friend is deleted, I'm going to stay there until his mother or, somebody from his family shows up to say, hey, because essentially he was deleted on your watch.
you see what
He,
May said? May
I
said
mean,
May said the police had to escort him out of a hotel because it was so many West Coast cats in there looking for him. Puff number had already flew back to New York. They left Mace in a hotel.
man, Puff left his whole crew out there because
Exactly.
because Biggie, all his people that was with him,
Mm-hmm.
they stayed with the body. And then
Mm-hmm.
Miss Wallace came, and when Miss Wallace came, they released the body, and then they all flew back to New York together. That's how it was supposed to be done, but he
And
didn't do that.
but you know what? He benefited off Biggie's album. Every step I take, every move I make, that shit went diamond.
Oh,
It went
he benefited a lot because at the
that shit
time
sold
Biggie
over
passed,
10. At the time, it sold over 10 million records. It went diamond, and he
well,
was benefiting from
he
that.
didn't. Truthfully, the producer did not clear the sample, so Sting got 100% of that money.
Sting. I heard about Sting
Yeah,
getting
so
paid.
every
Yeah.
time they play Every Step I
Yes,
Take,
I
Sting
heard
get a
about that.
check
I heard Sting gets a
because
check for that.
that's how it go when you sample a song, you don't clear it, boom,
Yep.
that's how it go. But now this is how he did benefit. Before Big second album came out, he was in the process of signing some paperwork that would give him his publishing back because at the point of him dying, Puff owned the publishing. Well, that paperwork was never signed. So that means Ready to Die, the sales from Ready to Die, because we all know when an
Mhm.
artist goes, your record starts selling. Ready to Die started selling, and then Life After Death sold 10 million.
Yep.
Puff got all that.
You know what? His daughter, Biggie daughter, even said that. You know what I'm saying? Puff ain't never kind of helped out with anything.
I mean, and then look what he did to Shine. You know what I'm saying? Like,
John did
you
10
know,
years and got deported.
yeah, on behalf of some stuff he didn't do. They saying he did it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He paid off the club,
Yep.
paid off the people in the system, the lawyers, all that
Mm-hmm.
old stuff, made it look like he did it
Mm-hmm.
so I can get off free.
You know what? Shine was one of the hottest artists at the time too.
And this is something else I'm leaving out.
This getting good.
This is getting real good. They brought to my attention that he was in a video for Nas called Hate Me Now.
I remember Hate Me Now. Who was in the video? Shine?
Puff.
Yeah. He was in Hate Me Now.
And there was a scene in Hate Me Now where he was on the cross.
I remember that scene. I know the scene you're talking about.
And he told them he filmed it, but then before the editing, before it came out, he said, hey, cut that out.
Yes, I remember that.
Well, when it premiered, they had that part in there.
They still had. You talking about when he was walking with the cross?
No, Puff was on the cross, hands out.
Okay. I still know what you're talking about, but I remember he was walking with the cross on his back.
Well, Nas was walking with the cross on his back.
Oh, that was Nas with his back. Okay. All right. Okay.
He didn't never depict himself on the cross.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something that's real. Anybody that plays with God, nothing good ever happens for them.
You know
because
what? A lot of people
because that happened in '98, and then the club thing happened the next year.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said in the video when they were talking about that, they was like, he knew that wasn't right, and that's why he wanted that cut out of there. But that image is out there, and people know that you participated in that.
Yeah.
So it made sense as to why they said, oh, he got a fall coming. Mm-hmm. That means like he's finna go through some shit. Well, that shit was the trial with the shooting. But you know what I'm saying?
You know what, Brad? A lot of these artists, a lot of these East Coast artists, they didn't start benefiting and blowing up till Tupac died. When Tupac died, they started feeling themselves. I remember Mobb Deep did a song with Nas, I forgot the name of the song,
You
but
talking
they
about
did a
it's mine.
It's Mine. And I thought that was just a shot at Pac. And I'm like, now y'all dropped this
You
song when
too?
Pac died?
You too? You thought it was
Yeah.
mine?
I
You
thought it
thought
was
it
a
was
shot at
because I listened to it too, and I was like, Thug Life is
Thug Life is
mine.
Mine,
And I
dog.
was like, what?
That's what I
But
was
at the
like.
time, because I'm such a Pac head, I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie to you, man. I'm gonna be dead honest. When Pac talked about all them people, I didn't give none of them people no chance.
Mm-mm.
I wasn't listening to nobody Pac did. He did De La Soul. He did Mobb Deep. He did
Mm-hmm.
the Fugees. He did
Mm-hmm.
Nas. He did
Mm-hmm.
LL Cool J. He did everybody. And
He
when I
did.
say I wasn't listening to none of them niggas, wasn't none of them niggas get no play. I
But
didn't
you know
listen to
what?
Mobb Deep until way later, and I
Yeah.
was upset because they actually got good music.
I like Mobb Deep before he was dissing them because I like that Shook ones.
Oh,
I re-
Shook Ones was the one.
I remember like I don't know, I was in the early teens, 14, 15. I seen Shook ones. I said, "Oh, this shit is hard." His homie got shot on the. His homie was on the phone and got shot. I said, "Oh, that shit is hard." You know what I'm saying? And at the end, they at the apartment and they loading up and they, you know what I'm saying? They leave the apartment. I said, "Oh my god!" I say that is hard. And then when Pac dissed them, I say, "Pac dissed these niggas, these hood cats from New York." That made me. I was like, "Oh," and then they didn't really shoot back at Pac.
No, they didn't.
I was like, God, y'all did.
Well, to be honest, well,
Hey,
this is the truth. They
Pac,
had a
Pac was a
song
little
where
bit
they
more aggressive.
responded. They had a song that was supposed to be a response to hit him up.
Supposed to be. Well,
Supposed
shit.
to be, but it was an indirect response because they didn't say his name.
That's the problem. That was the problem with them. Pac was doing a direct response.
Yeah.
They
See,
was
New
doing the
Yorkers,
indirect.
they was doing the subliminals.
Just like when
And
Snoop and them was kicking over the buildings. Direct.
well, we know why they was kick. We didn't know at the time. We didn't know why they were kicking over the building
I love
until
that.
they told the story.
I'm gonna go listen to
Then
that.
it makes sense.
I'm gonna go watch that video after this. Just because we talking about it. I'm gonna because I
You
love
talking
New
about New
York, New
York, New
York.
York?
I
Yeah,
love New York, New York.
but
That's hard.
but the reason why they did that was because of what happened during the filming of the video, and that's
I heard they got shot at doing that video too.
they did,
Yeah, yeah,
they did, and it was on the account of Funk Master Flex
yeah,
and Biggie.
yeah, yeah.
You
Biggie
know
was
what I'm saying?
Funk Master Flex was really riding for Biggie. He was really riding for Biggie, dog. I ain't gonna lie. I like Funk Master Flex.
Well, even Funk Master Flex admitted it on.
He did.
He said
He
on one of them
he
documentaries,
didn't fuck with Pop.
no, he was like, I was wrong for going on the radio that day and saying the streets where they were filming
Mm,
because he was like, and he was, talking in a tone where you could tell he was, I guess, somewhat remorseful because
I remember that.
all of this played a role in what would happen later,
Yeah.
so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Man, it was something else I wanted to holler at you about. Um,
It was a time to be alive at them times, man. You know what I'm saying? Even though the East Coast West Coast beef was very very strong and the media was kind of fueling it and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, with West High connection and all that and stuff like that, man. It's still, even though they was beefing, I applaud them because they still was putting out great music at that time. You know what I'm saying? Even through all that turmoil and all that beef. And you know what I'm saying? And like you said with Mob Deep, dog, Mob Deep, I like Mob Deep. I love Prodigy. You know what I'm saying? HNIC. And man, you know what I'm saying? We had so many dope, man. Just imagine Pac and Prodigy alive to this day. Because to be honest with you, and I'm gonna throw some hypothetically shit up right now, dog. You know what I'm saying? If Pac, I already know Pac and Prodigy, if they was alive, they would have squashed that. Just
right.
imagine a Prodigy and Pac album, just a collaboration, dog. You know what I'm saying, between them two, because them two was both from the struggle. They was both street cats. They both, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm
I
saying,
feel like
poetry.
eventually Pac would have
Eventually, dog.
made amends with everybody who he was dissing, and eventually made music with them all.
But you know him and Nas, they said they eventually, you know, Nas said him and Pac, you know what I'm saying, they chopped it up. I remember the story Nas said. Nas said Pac had about 40 West Coast cats. He had I think Snoop said it. Snoop said it like Nas had his homies and they was deep.
Well, I saw Suge say it.
Oh, Suge even said it too?
Yeah, Suge was
Yeah.
the first. Suge was the first to say it. He had
Okay.
this interview was the first interview he gave after Pac died.
Mm.
I don't know what date it was, but it was like right after he died because he's sitting in a chair and the cover of Machiavelli is behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that he was a witness to Nas and Tupac squashing a beef in New York. And Pac did tell Suge that when I get back to LA, I'm gonna take all my Nas disses off of Machiavelli, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna diss somebody. I'm gonna put somebody in that place who deserves that. Well, when he died, um, Suge said, "Well, we can't change it because he's gone and he's not here to,
Yeah. I
remix it or
I remember. Yep.
remake it."
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean that's cool and that's fine because for a long time I didn't think that they squashed it or whatever, but I was glad that they did. And I
Yeah.
don't really hold any bad feelings towards Nas for that.
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody else, eventually he would have, if he would have left Death Row and he would have,
Mm-hmm.
eventually been cool with Biggie, he would have made records with Biggie. I knew that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they were friends before they fell out. So, what I wanted to ask you was,
Mm-hmm.
Nelly made a statement on a podcast that said
I know the statement you talking.
his era, the era that he was out from 2000 to 2008 9
Mm-hmm.
was the hardest era to release music because when he was releasing music, Jay was out, X was out, Ja
Cash
Rule was
Cash
out,
Money was out.
Cash Money was out,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Ludacris and them was out.
Ludacris, T.I., Lil Jon.
Yes, yes, yeah. Eastside Boys.
Ooh, we got a long list of people, you know what I'm saying, that was out. Do you
Yeah.
believe that? Because I believe that 1990 through 1999.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm gonna
I'm
be honest with you,
sorry.
dog. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Nelly got a great point because that's some great ass music that came out between that time. Yeah, you forgot to mention No Limit, Master P and them. But yes, from 99 to maybe 2008, you had Young Jeezy dropping. You even had Gucci Man. You know, I've never been really a Gucci Man fan, but you even had Gucci Man, you know what I'm saying, with the trap music and him and T.I., you know what I'm saying? Uh, but man, that era of hip hop from 2000 to I'm just gonna say
I don't know,
2010.
man, because to me, it stopped
I
feeling the same after 99. And every year after 99, somebody just added a cup of water to rap.
because
They
look,
just pour the water in.
let me tell you this, Brad, too, because Texas that they started really starting to become commercial too. You had Power Wall, you know what I'm saying? You had Slim Thug, Chameleon. Now they started dropping. You had Mike Jones and stuff like that. So you had a from that 2000 to that 2010. That's a good era. Like I feel you
To
talking about
me, to
the 90s.
me, it was slipping and falling off the rails, and then by the time we got to about 2007,
You think that's when it fell off in 2007?
oh man, it was getting bad because it was already starting to become let me push the lyrics to the back burner,
Mm.
more dancing, more catchy beats, catchy hooks, you know,
Mhm.
uh
Yeah.
and it was just like it ain't hitting the same no more. And then once the ringtone era came, once
The Soldier Boy
Soldier
ringtone
Boy
era. Yeah,
came in the
yeah, yeah.
door, it was like
When Soldier Boy dropped, dog? Because
this
that's
was
when
2007.
he dropped in 2007. Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be real. I was in Houston. I was in Houston. I was living in Third Ward. Now I had a little homegirl that just used to YouTube surf all day. So one day I come over there. we blowing one, and she like, check this out. She let me see the video of him, doing the dance and crank
Ooh,
that
yeah,
Soldier Boy,
yeah, that
all that.
stupid ass
And I'm
shit. Yeah.
looking at it like, nah, this is never, this ain't gonna work. This ain't it. And the funny thing is, you could fast forward, I want to say 6 to 8 months later, and I'm in a club in Third Ward.
Mhm.
And I walked in and I'm surveying the scene. I stand by the bar and I noticed that there's this one guy who's like mean mugging, ice grilling everybody.
Mm.
He looks, upon first look, he appears to be the toughest nigga in the room.
Okay.
Until the DJ puts
No.
on Crank That Soldier Boy. He
Don't tell
went
me.
from
Don't tell me
hardcore
that.
gangster to Crank That Soldier Boy in 2.2 seconds. He started dancing. All I could do was look at him with my mouth open, and then I walked out the club because I was like, something's going on here. Something is wrong here.
you,
And it's a problem. And now it's time for me to leave.
you,
And just like I thought, from that point on, hip hop just down the drain. I mean, come on, man. I mean,
you know what the problem was? He was mad and he was ice grilling everybody because he was waiting for Soldier Boy to finally get played in the club.
it was just a weird set of circumstances. You would never think that somebody appearing on the outside to appear to look tough as possible would strike out and crank that Soldier Boy soon as the I'm talking about when that shit came on, you
Yeah.
heard the do.
Yeah, the
When he
big
started
shirt.
rapping,
Yeah, the big
when he
shirt.
started
Yeah.
rapping, that nigga started dancing like he was waiting for that record to come on.
That's why he was mugging all y'all.
And I was like, yo, man, like this is not. And then it went downhill from there. It went from that to auto tune. It went to
Yeah, the
you
auto
know
tune. Yeah.
later the double time flow, which people
Yep.
describe as mumble rap, but really
Yeah.
it's the double time flow.
Well, see, the auto tune was okay because only T Pain was doing it, and then everybody seen how T Pain blowed up, and then it was like, "Oh, I'm gonna copy it too." So everybody started doing the auto tune. But what a lot of people don't understand is T Pain actually can sing. He just did the auto tune thing, and then people was like, "Oh, I'm finna start doing auto tune." And still to this day, you got trash ass rappers using auto tune, dog. I'm not even gonna lie. I love my cousin, my little young cousin, and she tries to do the little sing like the little Dage Loaf style and shit. And she sent me one of her songs. And I say, look, I love your song. The only problem is you using too much auto tune. Your shit is all auto tune. Let me hear your voice because I didn't heard your voice without the auto tune. You know what I'm saying? Like I say the song is okay, but man, you need to get rid of that auto tune. And I was just being honest with her. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't need that shit to because you just doing what everybody else. You really kind of just hiding and scared of people actually hearing your voice. You know what I'm saying? You actually, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, the auto tune shit, everybody was using it. You know what I'm saying? It was like a good 3-4 years. Every artist, even Snoop Dogg, I think, did auto tune at one point and stuff. And it was like, come on, y'all. Like,
I didn't like it, man. I
I
didn't
didn't like
appreciate
it.
it.
I
I
didn't
wanted
like it.
to I wanted to ask you this before we get up out of here. A big hang up with me and a lot of artists within the city is the fact that I feel like a lot of artists out here don't have their own identity. And the reason why is because, I listen and I hear what's going on out there musically. And a lot of people from this area sound like people from Atlanta, or they sound like people from Chicago, or they sound like people from other places.
Mhm.
How do you feel about that? You know what I'm saying? Like we got talent out here. We know that. We're clear that there's talent in Beaumont, but this copycatism, this I sound like what's already out there ism. What do
Let me
you
tell you,
think about that?
let me tell you this, Brad. Every city says that they got talent. Every city, Port Arthur, some city in in Rhode Island, some city in New Jersey, some city in goddamn Mississippi. They all say, we got talent out here. The only problem is y'all got talent because y'all are confusing it because y'all are copycatting other artists that y'all see out there mainstream. So y'all confusing it with talent. To be honest with you, you have to be one with yourself, and you have to be confident within yourself to understand. Like, look, man, I don't sound like other artists, and that's okay. It's okay that I don't sound like nobody out there because a lot of people are scared because you know what I'm saying they scared to be like, but what's the artist from Texas? Big X the Plug. You know what I'm talking about?
Who is that?
I think he's from Dallas. Fat dude. He always wears a shirt. He don't ever have a shirt on.
I never heard of the
I
guy.
forgot his name, but he's pretty. he has a little motion going on, but to me, he sounds like pretty much everybody else. You know what I'm saying? He has the same cadence. And a lot of artists out there, man, you know what I'm saying? They might sound different from other people. And they might, you know what I'm saying, and their motion might be slow. So what they do, they be like, man, let me rap like such and such on this song. You know what I'm saying? Because he popular. Let me see if that's gonna give me some buzz. And a lot of people, a lot of artists, man, they don't believe in themselves to continue with the process. So it might be 2-3 years, and they ain't created the buzz that they want to. So what they do is they start sounding like the artist right now that's popular. They start creating a cadence, and then they start getting a little buzz, and they go continue with it. And a lot of artists just, you know what I'm saying, they just don't believe in themselves, man. And they not strong enough to be like, look, if I don't pop by me being me, then I just don't pop. But a lot of artists be like, shit, if I don't pop, shit, I'm finna sound like whatchamacallit. Whatchamacallit blowing up. I could rap just like that. So let me rap like that. Let me blow up too. Let me get a little chain. Let me get a little watch or whatever. Let me create a little motion because this was popping right now. And a lot of artists, they don't really stand on 10 tones, dog. They see what's popping and then they start sounding like them. That's why you got a lot of New York artists that sounding like down south artists or that sounding like Chicago artists, like Chicago drill. Now they got New York drill. Like, when did
Yeah,
New York artists started biting? Y'all supposed to be the mecca, the original hip hop. When did y'all start biting off of other artists so you can pop? You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. New York drill.
that's
If
crazy.
that's great. If I was Wu Tang, if I was Nas, if I was Jay Z, if I was DOS Effects, Fat Joe, them KRS One, you know what I'm saying? Rakim, all them like New York, New York drill. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, man, they scared to be themselves because they know it might not pop as soon as they want it to be. They want to pop just like that. So what they do, they start sounding like the next best thing smoking.
Originality and creativity is key for all those who are listening out there. Uh, Man, this has been a great conversation. We had a chance to chop it up for a long time, and I've been meaning to have this conversation. I want to appreciate you for
That's
taking
that's
time.
that's my fault, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I was telling you earlier before the show started, man. When I get a little free time, I got to catch up with a lot of stuff, and I'm doing a lot of running around, and you know what I'm saying, and unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, I don't make a lot of things that I want to make and stuff like that. But man, like I told you before, I said I don't care what I got going on. I said I'll go make this show. You know what I'm saying? Because to be honest with you, as far as bread, we've been rocking out for a minute. And when it comes to like doing this type of content, having these type of conversations, it's really nobody I put in front of you for it. And as far as the dedication you have and the consistency you have, I can't name nobody more consistent and dedicated than you. So because every time I say, hey man, I need you on the show, you came just like that. Bang. It wasn't no excuse. It wasn't this and that. You came and stuff like that. And one of the main reasons why I said, man, I gotta make your show because you know what I'm saying, as far as my show, you know what I'm saying, the Kickback podcast, I gotta plug it. Uh I took a little little hiatus because we was talking about conversations a lot, and I seen how I got so saturated with the conversation. I say, man, I'm tired of that. I ain't even finna talk about that no more. I don't even want to hear a conversation relationship type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't did that, and I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? As far as the growth, I'm done with that. So I had to sit back, chill, think about a few new things that I wanted to incorporate as far as my show and stuff like that. And I say, man, you know what I'm saying? As far as the fam bread, I say, let me jump it off with bread show. And then now, you know what I'm saying, start rocking out with the kickback again and stuff like that. So man, I thought it was only right, you know what I'm saying, as far as
So
to
you
jump
are
back.
coming back with your podcast.
Yeah, I'm coming back with my podcast. What I had to do, man, you know what I'm saying? I took a break because, like I said, the relationship thing was like played out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody started doing it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I don't even want to talk about. I don't even want to mention a relationship
I
thing
ain't gonna
because
lie. I was burned out on it at the end of the year.
I was burnt.
I was
I'm
like,
so burnt out.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want. Yes,
None
I
of
don't
that
even want to
shit.
think about it, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't want to talk about it. I'm done with it. And so I said, let me just take a break. Let me chill. Let me see how I want to go forward with everything and stuff like that. And when you hit me and stuff like that, and I was like, yeah, it's the perfect time. So you know what I'm saying? As far as like dropping content, yeah, the content is it's finna come real soon. It might be me solo. It might be I might have you on there and stuff like that. But one thing for sure, we ain't talking about no relationships, dog. We
Oh,
done with
okay.
that. We done with that. You know what I'm saying? That is in the past and it's buried. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
All right.
I appreciate you having me on, man, because I didn't see your growth. I see what you're doing and shit like that. And as far as the city that we live in, shit, man, I consider you on the forefront. You know what I'm saying? People don't give you your flowers and shit. I'm gonna give you your flowers and stuff. So shit, I recognize it. I see it. So
I appreciate that, man. And as always, on behalf of Mr. North End Floyd, I am Cornbread Capone. This is Unpopular Honesty, the home of brutal honesty and real hip hop music. Until next time, everybody, peace and love, because that's what the world needs. Know what I'm saying?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.